listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. With your hosts, Anthony R. Destiny, Joe Ferrani, and Jerry Kenna. Interviewing entrepreneurs, business operators, and investors. This episode of Between Two Bridges is sponsored by Paymark Payroll. Payday is the most important day to your most important people, and payday is made easy at www.payyourpeople.com.
All right, we're here with episode 42, Between Two Bridges podcast. Going on, guys?
42, and fighting. Yeah, I'm at the
swimming upstream.
Yeah, I'm afraid the gloves are starting to come off a little bit.
Oh,
gotta focus in on some shit.
Those days, I had one of those days yesterday where things didn't. I mean, we talk about it all the time where you go into work with a plan and then you throw that plan in the fucking trash.
Immediately.
Yeah. And you basically just put out fires all day. But by the end of one of those days, you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
And I had somebody kind of pick a fight. One of my vendors pick a fight a little bit. And I had to let him have it. Man, it felt good.
It does feel good.
Sometimes it's like, dude, you fucking picked the wrong day, bud. So let's talk about this.
Need a smash room.
So currently I've been pressing a lot. So like my pants press is within an earshot of the front counter. And like when I'm having one of those days, like if I'm having a good day, I'll kind of just let things work themselves out. But when I'm having one of those days.
I think you can say earshot, Joe. That's a little too soon.
Oh, that's a good one. But yesterday I had a lady that was complaining about something that was an ongoing issue. Some of the newer suit jackets don't have like any backing in them. They're like summer suits. So they don't press like great. And then when they get put in a bag, sometimes like her expectations were lawfully high. I mean, we're pretty good. But like I've touched them up like 3 times. And I know we're moving next week and we're leaving. And she's probably not going to be one of our delivery customers anyway. So I'm like, I'm not touching it up. I'm just not. Like, it is what it is. Take it. She's like, oh, I really like this cleaners. I was like, well, don't like it too much because we're out of here in 5 days. Like, but that's because of that. I was having one of those days, I didn't feel good about it.
Yeah, keep the $10 and get the fuck out.
And then what I ended up doing was like, I got halfway back and I'm like, you're better than that. Went back up, touched it up, gave it back to her. So she was happy. But today's been another one of those days. They're starting to string together. So
yeah, that's the worst.
It's not a trend.
I have some customers that get it that are business owners. And I told one of them today, I says, I'm about fucking 2 hours away from building a killdozer. But then I took my son to kindergarten orientation. And we're walking out and there's a blue rock in the rocks. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I go over and look at it and it says, never give up. Don't stop trying. And the school's K through 5. So, a 5th grader probably did it or a 4th grader. And I was like, well, needed that. Calm the fuck down.
Every once in a while that happens.
Yeah. I had it happen like twice in the last month. There was a kid at Sheetz that had a t-shirt on that said, don't let the hard days win. And I'm like, yeah, I've never been a big fan of like the love. What are the signs people put in their house?
Love, laugh.
Yeah, like fuck that. But I can go for a whole
that person's probably rich though. Whoever
every woodworker
lived and loved and laughed first.
Yeah, that guy's
be like, man, what the fuck do you do for a living? You're always living, loving, and laughing. And he's like, that's what I did, dude.
That's what you did. And then every housewife on the planet bought one because I'm sure we all have that in our house somewhere.
Yeah.
And farmhouses, huh?
Yeah, that and I always wondered what the deal was with the star on those houses.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Like, is there a fucking meaning? Like, does that mean?
I don't know. I got one on my house. I have no idea what it fucking is.
Someone's gonna knock on your door one day and be like, "Hey, man, you got that shit?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, your star on the house. You got that shit? He's gonna be digging in your backyard."
I never understood that, but
it's hanging
during the
above my
Holocaust,
garage.
that wasn't a good thing.
Yeah. Was
Does
not.
it
It's
face-
not good to have that on your house during
Does it
Holocaust.
face north at your house? Is that something that they like maybe like an indicator?
So it faces east.
Yeah, that's fucked up too. No answer there.
Is it like the stars on the flag?
No,
that
it's
that kind
just
of thing?
like a metal star.
Yeah.
I understand, but the idea of it is if you're looking at the country, is it like
Symbol, like patriots. Yeah,
symbolizing
maybe.
I don't
the
know.
stars on the flag?
I always thought like
Maybe.
if you like bought one and your neighbor bought one and you're like me and you don't get around to home projects right away, like if they put a star up and you have one in your garage to put up and you're like, fuck, they beat me to it.
Yeah.
Or can we have 2 stars in a neighborhood?
2 stars. I don't know.
Might mean something. Well, if you know, reach out to us. Maybe there's like an old fucking wives' tale about it or something.
Live, Laugh, Love is from a poem called Success by Bessie Anderson Staley, 1904.
1904.
1904.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What was,
Learn something every day. Now we can say that we taught something today on the podcast.
well, that's
So,
a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot. And I know we've kind of documented the process of this moving into the new building, but we've gotten some paperwork to kind of back up all the craziness now.
All right.
And apparently, if you have 1 to 100 people employed in your building, no matter what their physical abilities are, you have to have a water fountain that you can wheel a wheelchair under, and the water has to shoot up a minimum of 5 inches from said spigot. So remember having water fountains in our school?
Do you need a water fountain? I have 2.
I have a water fountain.
But I don't think Werner would pass.
Yeah, no, because like you
Water
remember
would
all
trickle
the some
out,
of them
dude.
would be like this little, and you're like lipping the
Yeah.
Remember they like taped them off
Super
during
hygienic.
COVID, and then the other ones were like blowing past the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is a county requirement, and I'm
I'm
thinking,
gonna bust out a tape measure, just become a water fountain inspector.
yeah. You don't even need a tape measure. You're just like,
I'm sure there's some class.
indicator guide.
Right.
I'm sure there's some community college class to get a certification for water fountain inspector.
Good.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it, I don't want to drink the fucking city water no matter where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't,
Do we not know about
Dude.
Flint, Michigan?
the city water's not my worry. I don't want the fucking nasty ass germs that are on a water fountain.
Right. And during COVID, they were like outlaw number 1.
Yeah.
And now the county mandates you have them in your building. It's like, wait, get your shit straight. Like,
Yeah.
and the other one was a urinal. And I don't know about you, but like, I feel like fucking
Must have a urinal.
must in the men's restroom. And I'm like, that is, and that's fucking sexist because if I'm putting one in the men's room, I'm putting one in the ladies'
Hey,
room too.
You don't know what they identify as.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to have a family restroom, I guess. And
Yeah.
for your fucking
That's only a
3
matter of time
employees.
before that's part of the county code.
Correct.
Family
And-
restrooms or gender neutral restrooms.
I just can't wait to my first job interview. I'm going to switch the signs in the bathroom and be like, hey, if you can't be standing up, you can't work here. Sorry.
Wouldn't it be nice if the people making these rules knew what it took to build a building or to run a business or to have employees? Because I have an office and I've had office space since 2015, two different offices, and have never had a urinal or a water fountain. And I've never had an employee go, man, I really wish there was a urinal here, or I really wish there was a water fountain here. Now I have a water cooler.
Right.
I have coffee for my employees. Like I have stuff here. It's not like they're dehydrating. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine if you like went to your grandfather and said, we have to leave? Well, why? There's no fucking water
There's
fountain.
no water fountain here.
He's like, go drink out of the fucking
I'm gonna
hose.
turn them into the county.
I don't even have time. I go to the bathroom and I wash my hands and then I out of the sink because I don't have fucking time.
I thought you did that out of the urinal.
You ever have a urinal cake? Fucking delicious.
You know, we were talking before the episode started about this, but you know, yeah, we have a serious issue here where companies are taking manufacturing plants overseas, and a lot of that is because of labor costs and things like that. But when you have all this bureaucratic red tape and all these requirements that are being dictated by people in a conference room that have never owned a business, built a building, any of the things that we're doing every day, and they're coming in and saying, well, you have to spend however much money to hire a plumber to install a fucking water fountain in a urinal, it's no wonder companies are taking their stuff overseas because the red tape is less. The regulations are less. I mean, honestly, what does a urinal do to improve the working atmosphere environment for your staff?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
I could understand if you had a urinal and not a toilet.
That would
then
be a
you'd
problem.
be like, fuck, dude, you gotta have a toilet.
You gotta have a toilet. You can't shit in a urinal, but you can piss in a fucking toilet.
So now I'm gonna have awkward moments where, like, if I go to the men's room by myself because I'm the only male there and someone needs to use the restroom, do I let him come in? Do we pee both at the same time? Like, this is all
it's
shit.
only a one-person bathroom.
Yeah, right. So I mean, how can I?
Why do you have to have 2 toilets in a one-person bathroom?
I mean, I haven't pissed, shit, and vomited since college, so I don't.
I was at a when we went on our motorcycle trip. We went into a gas station and it had a urinal and a toilet, but there was no doors or anything. There was no stall. It was just one open room.
Yeah.
And we're all a bunch of dudes. So like one of the guys was like, well, I'll piss in the urinal and you go in the toilet. I'm like, all right. Cause we were trying to get moving, you know? So I turned around and started unbuckling my pants like I was going to take a shit. I was like, is this a problem?
And then your uncle came in and was like, I'll use the sink. We're going 3 wide. Right. So I don't want to come across as I'm faulting the architects for this or the engineers. I feel like they know it's like a cheat code. Like it's like they need to X, Y, Z this to submit it to the powers to be. And I was talking to someone and they said that there's actually lobbyists that go to DC and to these things for the engineer companies, these big engineering companies, because if they were to cut the red tape, the engineer's not needed now as much.
Yeah.
So they lobby for these codes and regulations.
Well, and there's probably some water fountain manufacturer that's down there going, I think we need to put water fountains in every single business.
Yeah.
And we need urinals too. I mean, it's stupid.
It never stops. I mean,
and not only does the installation also add to your cost of building this place, but now you have another toilet to maintain.
Correct. And it's not an easy, I've seen urinals. They're not clean, sanitary. Like,
no, they're disgusting.
It sucks, you know. And the water fountain thing is like, okay, well, we laid this whole place out and it needs, like, no offense to anybody in a wheelchair, but you can't work for me in a wheelchair. Like, there's no task to be done.
It would be different if it was open to the public, like it had space for the public to come and stuff like that, where, you know, maybe a restaurant or something, the grocery store, I could see that. Or a business like I don't know, any business where people are loitering.
Right.
But the only people that are going to be in your building for the most part, 95%, 98% of the time are your staff, and you couldn't do this job in a wheelchair.
Right.
So why do you have to have a wheelchair accessible water fountain? I can even understand a handicap accessible bathroom because you could have somebody that, you know, twisted their ankle or something and maybe needs the space, maybe needs the grip bars and stuff like that. Right. But, why do you need, I just don't understand why you need a water fountain at all. If you're going to pay for a water cooler that you can just plug into the wall and just put a 5-gallon jug on top of it, why do you need a water fountain? Yeah, and I'd rather drink that anyway.
Right. And the other thing that I find funny is it's this building specifically passed the Allegheny Plumbing Code in April of 2017. So in the last 7 years, they've added this, I would assume.
They had to have. I guess that makes sense.
So,
are we sure? I guess we're sure that that's actually part of the code, or do you think he was just adding that?
I'm hoping it was like one of those things that he was like, "Ooh, add this, and you'll never have to do it." But if it's on the drawing,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll plant 3 bushes outside. Go outside and piss. If you have to piss standing up,
what's the difference between
fire hydrant?
I mean, I've been involved with restaurant build outs, and I don't know any that have water fountains. So
yeah.
What's the difference with a water fountain? Why does a restaurant
might
not
be
need
the
a
code, the way my building, my industry's coded, the F1 might throw it into that. Maybe because it gets hot as fuck, but like if they think that water fountain's helping, sorry.
Yeah, especially whenever it's 95 degrees outside, like we've said in other episodes, when it's 78 degrees, the water's coming in at 78 degrees. Right. Nobody wants to drink that.
And it's just an overreach.
Absolutely it is.
It's just a big brother you to tell you, hey, you know, bully you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, honestly, and I'm sure there's lobbyists that are pushing for this, but so much of this, these inspections, these engineer drawings, architectural drawings, all this stuff, a lot of it is just to make this harder for businesses. I mean, and they drag this shit out.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 30 days. The building inspector, which you haven't even gotten.
Yeah, 5 months in.
But they have 30 days to review, even just to come back on day 29 or day 30 and be like, oh, hey, by the way, you need to redo all these drawings because none of this is to code. And I've seen it happen.
Right.
So there's all these different steps to this process, and there's so many different people that can just put you on the back burner and say, well, I have 30 days. I'll look at that at day 28 and fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, and I'm just one project, and like there's just people, there's probably 5% of businesses that are tied up in some kind of fucking bullshit like this right now. Because like, even if you want to put an addition on your building, or, you know, you want to do something,
yeah.
You know, you're just trying to do what's best. And it goes down to like the way I look at it is, and I joked about the killdozer thing, but like the way I look about it is you're fucking with my family, because this is my livelihood.
It's your livelihood.
This isn't a hobby, dude. I'm not trying to park 4 Ferraris in here and fucking put a smoke room in, which that guy probably just gets that done because he's got the money and the contacts. But you're trying to improve your life. You're trying to bring jobs to the neck of the woods that doesn't have a lot of jobs. And they're just fucking, fuck it, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like when you call someone that you've been waiting, like checking your email 3 times a day to see if you're getting an email, and you call them, they're like, oh shit, I gotta get that on the front of my brain. I could jump through the fucking phone. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I'm like, they're on the phone like, oh, did you hear that? I'm like, dude, you're 18 miles away from me. You just heard me fucking screaming, dude. Like,
yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
I don't want to minimize the need for building codes and things like that, but there is so much ridiculous red tape. But then there are contractors out there that
are scumbags,
complete scumbags, that even with all this code are still doing half-assed work and ripping people off. And, you know, Pennsylvania you have to get a contractor's license. Okay, well, that's $50 every 2 years. And all you need to do that is insurance, which anybody can get.
Right. So
you can be a contractor with like $1,500. You pays for a year's worth of insurance and a $50 license, and now you're a contractor. Doesn't require you to have any sort of knowledge. Doesn't require you. I mean, and there's rules. There's rules to protect the consumer, but I can tell you in firsthand that probably 70% of the contractors out there, maybe more, don't have any idea. Like, for instance, you're not allowed to ask for more than 33% deposit unless it's for specialty materials. Do you know how many times I've had contractors come to me? I own a property management company. I own rental properties. I've been around this, and they're like, I need 50% or I need 60%. And I'm like, no, you don't. And where's the contract? Where's your proof of insurance? Oh, well, are you going to 1099 me? Yeah, we're a property management company. I have to.
I think what happens is, like, even though your property management company's sizable and like our businesses have scaled a little bit, at the end of the day, we're still a small business, right?
We are, absolutely.
And we get fucking dragged. I went to my like 4th meeting in 7 years. Like, dry cleaners, we don't have a lot of meetings. I was buying a dry cleaners one time, and the guy said, oh, I've got to call you back. I'm going into this meeting. I'm like, bullshit. Like, you're not like,
he's going
dude,
to take a shit.
Yeah, he's going like he needed his other hand to wipe or something. Like, it wasn't like a meeting. We don't have very many fucking meetings.
All right, guys, we need a staff meeting every morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk about what we have to do today.
Yeah, it's very tangible. Yeah, it's very tangible. You see all these clothes here that are fucking dirty? They're going to be here clean by the end of the day. Ready? Go. Break. So I had to take a meeting because I'm dealing with a large property management group. Thank you for your business. If you know who you are, thank you. But they called for a meeting, and I'm like, fuck. So I'm sitting in a room, conference table twice the size of ours here. There's 3 of us, and I'm looking at these people as they're telling me this shit, and I'm like, I'm the only one in this room not getting paid for this right now. Like, eventually I get paid because I get the contract. No, you just think that shit to yourself. Then I went for a tour of their building, and I'm like, just show me where the fuck we're picking up. I don't need it.
I don't need to be part of this.
But man, they do have some very nice buildings downtown.
So I saw an interesting take on that. And as a business owner in an industry where you have to have meetings, you have to, actually have meetings. It's way overdone. We don't have meeting. We don't even have enough meetings in my business than we should. I know that. But when I worked in corporate, we had every day. We're like, well, we need to have a meeting.
Yeah.
We need to talk about what this.
Need to have a meeting about the meeting.
Exactly. But the interesting take was, if you ever sit around that conference room table and you think about, okay, well, that guy's making $120,000 a year. That girl's making $100,000 a year. He's making $70,000 a year. And you actually figure out everybody's hourly rate, and you're like, this is a $10,000 meeting.
That's what I was thinking.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah. Like, I feel that's exactly.
This could have been an email and saved the company $10,000.
Well, that's exactly what my head was at. I was like, I know what I make weekly off of this account.
Yeah.
Why don't we just take the $1,000 you spent for this fucking, all the time that's been put into
Go
this?
to dinner.
No, just, I'll raise my prices and we'll move on.
Yeah.
Pocket it.
Yeah. I mean, it's and that's like the society that we built, you know, and I was hoping like after COVID that would kind of calm down, but like everybody has to justify their salary. So they had a meeting today. Like, how about I'll fucking email you and say I was there.
Yeah. Just send an email out.
Like,
you can put everybody
stay
on
home, sleep in today. I don't give a shit. Like,
but then that's annoying too. Whenever you get this group email and everybody's emailing back and forth, and you're like, "Oh my god, stop with this fucking email."
And my fear is like, if I don't go and take the meeting and tell them like we can communicate this, then they'll find someone that'll be like, "Let's have 2 meetings," and they're like, "Fucking great,
Let's get that guy.
That guy's the best." So I mean, I live in like a doer's world, you know, like those that can't do teach, those that can't teach Jim, right?
No.
So back to school. We're back to school.
Yeah, tomorrow's back to school. By the time this airs, it'll be almost a week that the kids are back in school.
Arlo's
Remember
not
the
there.
dread of going back to school as a kid.
Oh, my kids are going through it, man. Even my daughter, who loves school.
Summer's over. You're fucking getting back up at 8, whatever it is.
Yeah, I always liked school for some reason.
Joe, you don't strike me as
until I got there, and then I was like, I like the first couple hours of school. I like going and getting breakfast and socializing. And then whenever fucking geography came around, I'm like,
I'm out of here.
I'm out. Dawn Rainer would be like, "You going to the library?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Get me 2 with cheese." Go get him 2 Egg McMuffins and come back.
Yeah, even my daughter last night was like, "I don't want to go to school." And I'm like, "You love school. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "No, I don't. I hate it." And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
Would you do the cyber schools if they wanted?
No.
Wouldn't do it.
So.
A character builder, being around other kids.
Yeah.
So we had orientation, and Graham was apprehensive when we got there, you know, new place, new face. And then he started running around, and he's like, "They got all this cool stuff." Like, and he was like, "Am I going to get to draw?" I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, you can draw." And he has like these real like touching conversations with him right before he falls asleep when he's tired. He's like, "Dad, I can't go to school. I don't know anything." I'm like, "But that's your job, dude." I said, "Your teacher knows everything. So like, you're good. You just go there." And so he warmed up to it. So he'll get on the bus tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Bus driver might be fucking spiking the brakes a block back, reversing it, and be like,
"Get this kid the fuck out of here.
He's a rider.
He's not ready."
Yeah. So, and I heard someone say that like the reason those chairs in kindergarten are so small is because you're not supposed to be in them forever.
Oh.
You grow up, you grow out of it. So it's a unique product. It's fun to watch because, like you said, you have these memories of like school, and I can remember going to kindergarten and like had to take a quarter for milk. Remember, like
now it's $6.
And we're old as shit. We had a milkmaid at our fucking elementary school.
Yeah.
And Peggy Nelson would collect Liberty quarters. So if you brought a Liberty quarter in, she'd give you a quarter back, and you didn't have to pay for your milk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was cleaning up.
I never paid for milk.
Free milk.
Yeah, I overpaid.
My grandma was pissed. I took like a whole roll of them quarters. Remember, like change, like collecting change was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You still do that?
Fuck no.
I got a 5-gallon.
I save change.
Container. I just put change in it all the time. Like it's
never have change. All digital.
You don't do.
I rarely have. Dude. I don't touch cash at all.
Yeah, cash is dirty.
Yeah, it's funny you say that.
Dude, I always like having cash.
You have change in your pocket, Joe?
I do. Probably.
Jerry, you have change in your pocket?
No, I emptied it out this morning.
Yeah, I got some change. So
I had a handful of change though.
So what's funny is I have a cup in my like center console that I throw change in my car, and then I have like a dish at the cleaners that I'll throw change in when I check my pockets.
Mm.
And like I usually just add it to a bigger jug. And the other day I actually made the comment to myself. I was like, dude, you've been spending a lot of fucking cash lately, because when you have change, you've been spending too much cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like having cash. I don't know.
Well, to me, like sometimes I'll
carry a 50, but I never use it. It's like
you've had it since high school.
Fold it up in the middle of my wallet.
It's back with his condom he used to carry around when he was in high school.
No, he used that. That's how Orlo's here. But I use cash for like those little things. Like if I'm going to go buy pouches that are $5, because I'd hate to like use
Swipe
my
a card.
Well, if I use my Amex and like, you know what I mean, just sometimes
points.
it gets out of
Not
control.
a points guy.
Nah, points don't equal. That fucking sucks as a small business owner, because you know like 1% of your rate's going to them fucking points.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
someone's got to pay for that, and it's usually the small business owner. But I digress, because we don't even use cash at the cleaners.
You don't accept cash?
Nah.
You don't?
Nah. 30.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Dirty.
You accept cash, Jerry?
No. Yeah, I can accept cash, and I claim every dime of it.
Same.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're listening.
Yeah. I'm actually, I have a unique perspective with claiming and paying taxes. I understand the idea of trying to pay as little as possible in taxes, and I'm all for it.
Mm.
But I'm very strategic on how I do that, because in my opinion, paying taxes is like borrowing power.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're in growth mode. Life is a lot easier when you have good credit and you have income to back it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're going to the bank and you need a loan, kind of need it,
Yeah.
And I've seen too many clients that play those games every year and, try to write off everything that they can possibly think of. And, well, the business pays for this, the business pays for that, business pays for this. And then they show very little income. And then they want to buy a house, and they come to me and they're like, hey, so I'm going to buy this $400,000 house. Do you think I can get approved? And I'm like, you showed $20,000 worth of income on your tax return last year. No.
Yeah.
Right.
No bank is going to give you anything.
Well, yeah, and I think that's something that I learned like at a young age and always have. You have to take a paycheck from your company.
Yep.
Like some people will be like, fuck it, I won't take a paycheck. And it's like, well, you can't do that either, because now you're not paying in Social Security.
Yeah, that's the other,
You're not paying
other side of it.
You're fucked. You're screwing yourself up.
Yep. That's the other side of it. I've had a lot of contractors and stuff over the years that were always just old school, and I can't confirm that they're not claiming all their cash, but they did their own books, and so I don't know. And but they want to write off their truck and write off everything that they can possibly think of, and they don't show enough income, and then they go to retire and they're like, I don't have any, my Social Security's like nothing. And I'm like, well, yeah, you didn't claim any income. You didn't pay anything into it your entire life.
Yeah, and I've seen this now, because it's been 4 years since I did my house, and like I had a drywall guy, I had a guy come do some electrical work for me. And back then they wanted cash. But now I'm like, I'll say the classic line, like, is there a cash discount? And they're like, I don't give a fuck, write me a check, doesn't matter. It's like they can't keep doing that shit.
Yeah. No, I don't give a cash discount. I don't. The price is a price. We have bills to pay.
Yeah.
I'll have clients that'll be like, do you want me to write this check out to you directly? Or like, thinking I'm playing games. I'm like, no, it's going in the bank.
Yeah.
All this rent and this payroll and all this stuff. Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is like sometimes like if you pay, like say someone owes you $300 and they're like the cash discount, and you're like, yeah, I'll give you 25 or 20 off. Well, here's the problem with that. Now you have $280 in your pocket, and on your way home you stop to do something, and then like you don't get it out of your pocket fast enough, and you're like, that $280 now cost me fucking $330. Like because I spent it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. Cash is it's going to go away.
I find it easier to spend money using cards.
Yeah.
Because I can just fucking tap that card, and I'm not really comprehending
everything
you're putting on it. Where if I know I have $300 in my pocket, that $300 lasts me because I'll be like, man, this pile's getting a little thin. I don't need that.
And you know what's funny too is if you had 3 $100 bills, they last forever.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
'cause you
You're
don't
like, I ain't breaking it.
I'm
fucking break it.
Some people don't.
I'm like,
break
that's
it.
only $98, dude. I ain't fucking breaking 100 for that.
Yeah,
You
some
crazy?
places you go and they're like, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
I don't know, give me
Which,
change.
That's illegal to not
Yeah.
give change.
Yeah.
It's also illegal to say you have to spend a certain amount. I don't know if you've been to a gas station. It's like $10 minimum. That's
On
illegal.
debit card, yeah, that's illegal.
On a card?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's rules against that, which
Mhm.
I don't know. I think that it's secure. I mean, there is credit card fraud, but like there's also thousands of dollars that burn up in fires. You know what I mean?
I think that's another, it's kind of silly. Like $10 minimum for to use a credit card. Because you pay a percentage. There is a transaction fee, but typically that transaction fee is like 10 cents.
Right.
So that's the very small part of that percentage. The bigger part of it is the percentage that Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover are taking. Right. And there's no minimum percentage. It's, 3%.
Yeah.
So whether it's $10 or $1, it's still 3%. So what the fuck is the difference whether they pay, there's a minimum of $10? You're just trying to get more money out of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get you to buy the second Mountain Dew or the bag of chips on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
I don't know. There's so much in that world of like convenience store gas stations that like
they do whatever. It's Wild West, man.
It is. And back to the fucking bathroom thing. Have you ever asked to use a bathroom at one place that says they don't have a public restroom? But they're like, yeah, dude, just walk past the Pepsi cooler, through the fucking Gatorade cooler.
Oh, yeah.
And you're in there and you're like...
Dude, they have a water fountain, though.
Dude, yeah, they have a water fountain, urinal, and toilet all in one. It's like a bidet hanging on the side. You get a drink while you're pissing. But they're grandfathered in because they've been a gas station for years.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it's just getting to be so expensive to build anything new, to renovate anything.
Yeah, not just material costs, but all the other
it's all
shit.
the bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, you have to spend $20,000 in drawings before you can even start doing any work. That's a lot of a budget.
Yeah.
And I had it all drawn up already. I had graph paper. I had my sheets all cut out of construction paper and moved them all around. I knew exactly what I needed to do. Apparently, I skipped that class at CCAC. And they have so much, the verbiage on all this shit is like nonsense.
Yeah.
But
do you do that just with your hand? You did your drawings by hand?
Yeah. You just, each square equals 10 feet.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I just wasn't sure if you did. I'd like to get a program or something. I don't want like some pretty crazy expensive one, but just some basic one that I can do, like a floor plan.
Right. And one of the things too, like in these floor plans and like in all these drawings is like they lay out like, which would be good for people that probably are normal. For all your like contractors, it's like a letter of the law that's added to the drawings, which is great. But when I'm doing the work, I'm not going to park my truck in the fucking street. I'm not going to work outside of normal hours. Like, just so much red tape. Yeah. Remember what was it, Me, Myself, and Irene, where fucking Jim Carrey wraps himself up with the scotch tape? That's me right now.
Yeah.
What a movie that was.
It was
a good movie.
It was a good one.
And now a brief word from our sponsor.
This episode of Between Two Bridges is sponsored by Paymark Payroll. Are you tired of spending countless hours juggling payroll calculations, tax filings, and compliance regulations? Well, say goodbye to that chore and let Paymark Payroll take the burden off your shoulders. With our secure online portal, you can access your business information from any internet location, even your phone. Employees will love the ability to receive direct deposits, and they can access all their pay stubs, tax forms, and information through their own portal. Focus on growing your business while we take care of the rest. With top-notch customer support, we're always here to assist you with anything, at any time. Don't let payroll stress hold you back. Choose Paymark Payroll and experience the freedom to thrive. Contact us at payyourpeople.com for a personalized consultation and a demonstration of our powerful payroll solutions, and see how Paymark Payroll can better your workflow. That's payyourpeople.com. Join the growing list of satisfied businesses that have embraced the convenience and efficiency of Paymark. Payday made easy. Your business deserves nothing less than the best, and that's exactly what Paymark Payroll delivers. Now back to the show.
What's up with the stock market or Destiny? Anything good?
It's up and down. There was news today that hit it pretty hard.
What was the news?
It was around payroll. I'll bring it up. It's probably relevant.
You'd think like the country was like roaring like unbelievably great if you just follow the Democratic National Convention, dude. They're like celebrating, like
dancing.
Yeah, it's like Wolf of Wall Street. Like fucking market's killing it. Everything's good. I guess the Republicans did it a couple months ago too. I mean,
why are they so far apart? You'd think they'd be at the same time.
Yes,
in the same fucking room would be fun. Just like the when
fucking melees.
The presidential address, whenever like everybody on one side of the aisle is clapping and the other side, like just split the fucking room down the middle.
State of the Union. One thing I found interesting, and we don't want to go down a political rabbit hole, but didn't they talk about right after that assassination attempt how we were going to stop talking shit and like kind of dial it back a little bit?
Kumbaya, yeah.
And like stop with such, kind of hateful, violent rhetoric. Yeah, that lasted no time at all.
It lasted for as much as Trump spent on the ground. And then when he stood back up, they were like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I think like the Republican National Convention happened pretty close after that. And all the media, even like both sides of the media, covered how it was their whole thing was we need to be united.
Right.
We need to stop all this rhetoric. And they even made a big deal about Trump's speech. And I don't think it was that great. I think he kind of fumbled the ball because I think he could have come out with a very well done scripted address. And he could have walked out and been Reagan-esque.
Yeah, presidential.
Yeah, and instead he came out and he kind of, the beginning of it was good, and then he kind of started to ramble and I'm like, oh, come on, man, like this was your shot.
Yeah, he needed like my wife there to like jiggle the car keys and be like, enough of the fucking drinking and speeches.
Yeah, they all do that.
Get off the stage.
They gave him credit for the fact that he talked about his plan, he talked about all that, but he actually said the word, he used Biden by name one time. During his speech. And then you fast forward a couple months and you're looking at the Democrat one, and it was just basically like a fuck Trump convention.
Yeah. I would like to use this platform to say to either of them, if you can get me through the red tape before the end of this month,
Joe's going to need a pardon.
Got my vote.
Yeah.
So U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Lowered expectations by 818,000.
Jobs?
Down, yeah. It's the largest revision since 2009, signaling the labor market may be cooler than initially thought, indicating a recession.
Huh.
Cooler than they thought.
Cool, not the good cooler.
Yeah, I'm aware
not
of
a Yeti cooler.
I'm aware of the definition there.
So
I just think it's funny that they thought it wasn't cool.
Yeah. I also find it funny that
there's rate cuts coming, but
they always tout jobs,
jobs,
like creating jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is you can create all the jobs you want if nobody wants to work them because it's easier to.
Yeah. And also, it's really hard to take them seriously when they're talking about all the jobs that were created over the last 4 years, whenever 4 years ago we were in the middle of COVID. Yeah. And everybody lost their job.
Remember all those? Weren't they hiring a bunch of IRS agents to take care of those ERC numbers?
With guns?
Yeah, I don't think they actually. So that was a misconception, too.
I thought they were getting AKs, Jerry.
No. There are positions within the IRS that are armed. But not
what? Better send that guy.
But they're not agents that are coming to audit you. That's a different position.
Yeah, we've talked
It's
about that before.
Crazy. But
I guess if you're doing the background and you are an IRS agent and you're going to serve somebody some paperwork.
yeah, I mean,
Certain
the IRS
circumstances-
can come arrest you.
Yeah, they should be
can.
armed at some.
The people that are actually going to come and arrest somebody for tax evasion, they're going to be armed. But the guy that comes to review your books to audit you is not.
He's
And thank
coming.
God, because he's a dork.
He's coming with a coffee mug, and it might have a gun handle on it. It might be the gun that your son tried to get through TSA.
A Nerf gun.
My other handle's a coffee mug.
But I don't think they actually hired those guys. I don't think it got through Congress.
It's a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a problem I'm having right now is that
All right.
everything that we consume, whether it's the news media, whether it's social media, whether it's podcasts, whether it's whatever, is all search engines. Everything is curated based on our independent algorithms.
Right.
Right.
Our thought process.
Yeah. So if you're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through TikTok, not only is the content you're consuming curated, but then if you go into the comments are curated where they're only showing you the comments that agree with you. So it's like you can watch a video and be like, yeah, and then look at the comments and be like, yeah, all these people agree with me. But really, it's because they put those comments up top. So because that's what you want to see.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything we're consuming right now
It's like
And that's
slam.
would be fiction.
Right. And that's
Torture
why
and
people are
belief.
so politically driven, because they want to believe that politics are the truth.
And none of it
And
is.
it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Both sides. And then you have allegations that
They're just playing into
yeah,
an algorithm
Yeah.
that's built for you.
right. And then there's allegations that the Democrats are using AI to make Kamala Harris's crowds look bigger. And there's all this like fake bullshit that we're all being fed that I don't know that any of us really know what is happening out there.
Right.
We don't know, is she actually popular? I don't know. I've seen video where it looks like there's 10 people in a rally. But then I've seen videos where there's like 50,000.
Right.
But like you can fake that. And
Dude,
then did you hear
Can fake a moon landing.
Did you hear what happened at the Permane brothers?
Nah.
So Kamala Harris is in Pittsburgh.
She get one.
Did she get fries on her fucking sandwich, or she take them
Dude,
off?
it's so much worse. There's video and people. So they got to the Permane's. I don't know which one it was because they were at a Sheetz
Probably
too.
Moon.
But they went to a Permane brothers and they came in and removed all of the customers and then bust in like 10 vans full of paid actors to go in there and pretend like they're customers that support her.
R.I.P. Dick Zoller, but he did that shit back in the day.
What did he do?
He was like losing an election, they say, and he went to like all the bars in town and was like, "Hey, fuckers, get out there and vote. And when you get back, I got the next round." People were just getting off their bar stools and going down and voting.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we're seeing, and I wasn't at the Permane's brothers. I can't testify whether or not that's true or not. It's also on social media that could be curated. But, I mean, there's video of people standing on the sidewalk. Like, I just got thrown out of Permane's because all these buses full of people went in there for a photo op. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah, shame
know,
on
it's so-
Permane's and shame on
so
them for
dirty.
that, if that's the case. Because like if that's the case, tell her to come at 10 before we're open.
Yeah,
If you want a photo op, come at 10.
and it's kind of scary that if they thought that was necessary, Pittsburgh is a pretty blue city, and that they didn't feel comfortable going into a Permane Brothers in Pittsburgh and having enough support in there to have her show up.
Well, Trump did get shot
Story
30
good
minutes
as they
up the
called
road.
for last call in the middle of a Pirate game.
Wait, what? 2 a.m.?
It was 3 in the afternoon.
Is it so? You're reading it? Is it true? Where's that from? Is that from like Fox News?
This is Fox News. But it's
So they came in, they were like, last call.
Yeah, it's 3:00. Get the fuck out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
No, it's on AOL. It's on MSN. It's
Okay.
a legit story.
So they legitimately.
Dawn from the north side got kicked out of
Dawn
his
was
seat.
like, hey, I only got half my pastrami dime, I call it. And you're telling me, give me an Iron City for a park lawn. I'll come back in. I'll vote for you.
So
they stage events is what we're saying.
Becky from Munhall was like, this is absurd. I ain't voting for you.
So it's true. They removed everybody in the restaurant to bring in paid actors in order to film.
I don't know if they were paid, but yeah, they
were actors.
Dude, she probably was like, does anybody want a free sandwich?
They were supporters.
We saw Matt Light.
Dude,
wait.
that's fucking crazy, man.
I did just learn you can mute words on Twitter /X, which is a game changer.
Mute words?
So if I put in Ferrani, I see nothing about Ferrani.
Oh, is that a new thing? Is that an Elon Musk
I don't know.
edition?
I saw our comedian friend mute Ayuk. So then I went into mine and muted some things, and I haven't seen it. It's pretty sweet.
They're sick as hearing about the stories about Ayuk coming to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so you can do stuff like that. And
yeah, I saw a video today of
tailor your algorithm some more.
Them making fun of it, where they were like, San Francisco's like, $1 million, and Pittsburgh's like, I'll give you $100.
And Tomlin's like, that's my son. Give him to me. Yeah, it's the algorithm thing's for real because, like,
I mean, if those offers are that close, he's screwing himself by staying in California because of the tax rates.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. It's and like with what I'll start looking up stuff like I need fire rated drywall, and you start looking it up, and then like everything on all platforms is showing me.
Joe, do you want drywall?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, no, I don't.
Yep.
Like,
dude, I one time was talking to a buddy. He's like, I want to get a flagpole for my house. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'd like to get a flagpole. Like one that's like freestanding. There's no room at my house. Like I have a small front yard, so I couldn't do it. But like a freestanding flagpole that's lit, like big flagpole, you know? Like later that day, I'm on Facebook. There's an ad for a flagpole. I'm like, I never searched it. How did it had to have been listening?
Alexa.
Dude, I am very happily in love with Sarah, but I couldn't imagine trying to be a cheater nowadays. Like,
no.
Like you fucking kidding me? Like you can't get away with shit. Like you're like, because you go to a restaurant, like you go to a restaurant, then you're getting information about other, you're getting all this shit. Like I'll throw some weird shit in my Amazon cart from time to time, just like fuck with her, and like hopefully like she'll just be like, all right, that's the 6 things I need, buy all, and then just some weird shit comes to my house.
Like, that's awesome.
And then I started sending some weird shit to some people because you can just change the address. You can send.
You can send anything to anybody. Send a bag of dicks to your best friend.
Absolutely.
I was driving in the car with Amber the other day, and I got a phone number, on Apple CarPlay. It pops up, and they weren't in my phone, but their name, like, was there.
Yeah.
Like caller ID or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a female. And I just clicked no. And then after I did it,
how soon after did
it started ringing, and I was like, no. And,
who's that, Jerry?
You should answer like,
she didn't say anything.
Oh.
But I thought, that looked bad.
Yeah. She'd be like, hey girl, what's going on?
Yeah, it looked bad. Like I just
Did
like
you
saw
explain
some
yourself,
female.
or
so
you're
the
like,
next
no,
day,
it's a client.
Next day, I ended up talking. That girl called again, and it turns out she's a new client referred from another client that my wife knows. So I went home last night and I'm like, hey, remember that girl that called? And she's like, like, she's friends with blah blah blah, and she's a new client, and she's like, okay. I said, I just not that I would ever, but I thought after I clicked no on the phone, I thought that looked shady.
I think
she's
about
like,
that all the time.
It did.
Like, I was working late, and I'm like, there's obviously trust in relationships, so that's good. But like, thinking like, what if I came home like clean, like smelling good? Like, I usually roll in, dragging a
little lipstick on your collar.
Like, she would fucking murder me, dude.
Yeah, we work late. I mean, that's a thing. I mean, yeah. Does she have your location on your phone?
Probably. I think she had to. It's a safety feature for me at some point in our relationship. Dude, one time, like, long story short, I went golfing and then lost my phone. And then on the way home from golfing, me and a friend stopped to golf somewhere else because we didn't have enough fun golfing the first 18. And then I realized I didn't have my phone. So then I called her and she's like, it's at the golf course. So she does, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm at the golf course. She's like, well, your phone is at the clubhouse of the golf course. I said, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me what golf course? She's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Dude, I don't know how anybody could even, like, I have a Ring doorbell on my house. I have I couldn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, that Guardian app, that my like cameras are sweet because like it'll tell you person detected, vehicle detected.
Yeah.
So like I don't worry about the people being detected at my house because like if they're coming in a vehicle, then that kind of triggers to me. But like my kids are in and out and stuff like that. But it's a game changer.
It is. Like,
you know?
Yeah.
Even like getting pizza delivery, you can see right where they are.
Yeah, because
in the 90s, we were just fucking waiting.
Yeah, like, what the hell
chilling.
is this guy with my food?
You'd be playing like fucking cards or something, and you'd be like, dude, it's been 2 hours. Where the fuck's this food? And then you call them, you're like, oh, shit. So
kids are like, what's cards?
Dude.
Not an app on your phone. Actually, had to play with cards.
That was one of the funny things I was thinking today. My son's a big Burger King guy. Like, he loves his Burger King. Dude. He just loves it. And 2 cheeseburgers, kill it. And I'm thinking at school,
he eats a whole meal.
We get him kids' meal. Like, he'll eat the burger. He'll like eat the meat. Like, he does all kind of weird shit. But he's gonna go to school tomorrow, and he's gonna walk through this line for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want Burger King. And they're gonna be like, we don't have Burger King. He's like, all right, fuck you. He's probably gonna pull out his hat or Uber Eats right to the fucking school. I don't know. It's a different world, man. It
is.
And you say about the jobs, and we talked earlier, and I'm in the mindset right now of it's not if we're gonna have a recession, it's when.
No,
like,
it's coming.
Yeah, it is on its way. Like, the world is gonna change over the next 5 years, no matter who wins the election, no matter what happens. Everybody's going to have to become very fiscally responsible.
Yeah, we go through it every 10 years or so. I mean, we're actually overdue, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because 09.
08, 09.
And like we talked about it before on here, COVID wasn't one. It was a different.
It was different. I mean, it sucked. It was hard. But this is... But there are also programs out there to help businesses get through COVID.
Right, and this is too close to COVID.
They're not going to do it.
This is going to be a mow-down job. There's going to be
see recession programs.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, this is going to be responsible. Downsize if you have to.
Yeah,
scale up.
That's what I'm saying. They don't come out and say, "Oh, we're shit in the bed. Here's some money."
Because they spent it.
That's what stimulus checks from George Bush, right? Was that a?
Obama gave stimulus checks.
Was that for
Bush did a
recession?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody got stimulus checks.
You got fucking $600, dude. What's that going to do for you?
Wow.
Was that all it was?
I think that
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think it was $600 because I think we were young. So I mean, at that point, I was like,
dude, shit.
Bought a couple kegs.
Fucking let's go.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stimulus checks during COVID.
Yeah,
but that was different. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know. But those stimulus checks, they don't. Fuck, they do. $600 now, it'll get you groceries for a week.
Right.
I remember
out that game.
I remember they were talking like after 9/11. That kid wrote a book report in school, and he said, "I just wish the whole world could treat each other like they did the day after 9/11, because like that was a great time to be alive." And I think that a recession and a tightening of the belt and like everything just kind of calming down would be good for everybody.
Maybe, dude, but people are so like, it's the same thing with what we were talking about a minute ago. You know, after the assassination attempt, everybody's like, listen, we need to dial it back. We need to stop with the, he's the new Hitler and all this stuff, because and it's the end of democracy, because it's making people think that like we have to kill this guy or he's going to ruin our country. And it created an assassin, right?
Yeah.
And it lasted, I mean, not exaggerating, less than a week.
Right. Less
than a week, the media is back to calling him Hitler, calling him a threat to democracy. I mean, people's attention spans right now, unless we have something, I don't think a recession is going to do it. Unless there's something where there's some sort of attack on U.S. soil, I don't see, I mean, really bad right now.
Yeah. I was talking to a customer the other day, and they said that everybody always talks about like this, like World War III and how it's going to be played out. And he said, people don't understand that like major corporations are coming up and buying all the land.
They are.
So like
foreign corporations.
Yeah, foreign. And like you look at this Circle K deal with Gitco. Circle K is not an American-owned company.
Not.
Canadian-based, I do believe. So now they just bought 300.
Circle K that bought them.
It's the same group. It's, yeah. And I think they're Canadian-based. We're fact-checking as we're talking, but maybe they're based out of Munhall. I don't know. But
they're not.
So you go 330 locations, whatever Gitco has, prime time locations. Maybe they're not even buying them for the gas. You know, they're buying the ground that they sit on too, you know? So like, that's a lot of property that's one person just bought up. And then you have these property groups, like you were saying before about like small investors are flipping like a house on a block and then the next block. But these big investors are coming in and buying city blocks.
Do they get the land in those? I feel like that's a franchise deal. Like
they're selling
the storefronts.
I don't know if they've even released the details of the acquisition yet.
Well, they made
I just
sure.
mean in general, like you see gas stations flip all the time. Like, do they get the actual land?
Well, I know Sheetz doesn't buy the land.
Sheetz
Sheetz leases the land off the landowner. They sign a 100-year lease.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a bad comparison to like what I'm talking about. But
no,
there's just a lot of foreign interest in buying our property.
The company's out of Quebec.
Yeah.
Fucking couldn't keep the Nordiques there.
Dude, when I saw that headline, I'm like, I have way too many fuel perks for this shit to be going
on. And they went and saved face right away. They don't care to tell you what happened in the deal. They care to tell you like, hey, don't worry, we're still in bed together. Like it's all good. But who knows? Yeah. I mean, fuel perks have already been fucked. They used to be great.
Yeah, they used to get free gas.
They're still doing like, I'll do it. Like I'm doing these construction jobs, and I've bought gift cards and stuff to buy materials, and then get a free tank of gas.
I will tell you this: my theory on what they're doing is they're getting out of the Gitco markets, and Giant Eagle has been pushing the pharmacy end of their stores, and Ohio just legalized marijuana. So I think
you think Giant Eagle's going to try to get into marijuana?
I think they're gearing up. That puts a lot of money in their pocket. Gitco.
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen because I think that when Pennsylvania legalized medical, they issued so many licenses for dispensaries. And if Pennsylvania comes in and decides any pharmacy can sell it now, they've devalued the dispensary license and they've basically taken all that money from these people that bought these dispensary licenses.
Well, they just did it.
Fuck you.
They did it 5 years ago when they started selling beer and liquor at fucking.
But they changed the rules for the distributors too.
Yeah.
To try to and don't get me wrong, they still fuck the distributors. But when they did that, they said, okay, Giant Eagle can start selling 6s and 12s. Distributors that used to only be able to sell case can now sell 6s and 12s and even singles. They can also fill growlers. And they can do, I think, like slushies and stuff to go. So they did loosen up the regulations on the distributors.
So you're gonna be able to get
selling slushies to go.
It's like here, don't drink this till you get home.
New Orleans, you can go through a drive-thru.
I know it's hot out, but
we're gonna put this little piece of tape on the straw so you don't drink it.
So you can't buy a pound of marijuana in Giant Eagle in 5 years, but you're gonna be able to get pre-rolly J's without a doubt.
Well, that's probably what's gonna end up happening. If they end up doing something where they're gonna make it more widespread, where you can get it other places. They're going to devalue the dispensaries, so they're going to allow the dispensaries to do other things.
Pennsylvania's so backwards, dude. Like, people are now going to drive, like, remember fireworks? People would drive to Ohio. You're going to be able to drive to fucking Ohio and just get whatever weed you want and come back.
And we're so close to Ohio, it's literally an hour drive, and you could be over the border and stop.
I remember back in the day, like, my dad's, like, office and, like, the fire hall would put a pool together, and then they would drive over and buy Powerball tickets and drive back.
Dude, there's going to be so much weed going up and down the turnpike.
It's better than the heroin going in and out of Butler.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That just goes to reiterate our point. Like, we're not right or left on this show. We're not pro-Trump or anti-Trump or pro-Biden, but we are, like, sitting here telling you that if you are relying on the government, you are fucked. Like,
you cannot run them.
Dude, they haven't had a good idea in a fucking decade.
What do you mean? They're going to stop taxing tips. Remember
Fucking right. That's right. They're going to start taxing the small business owner.
There's a lot of smoke around that tax on unrealized gains.
Oh, I heard about that too. They're talking about a 25% tax on unrealized gains and a 45% capital gains.
Is that like when you're checking your shorts to throw them in the wash and you're like, fuck, dude, I found a 50.
Only for the ultra wealthy, which I think when Biden was running, he kept saying that he was only going to tax people over $400,000 a year. Listen, I know there's probably a lot of people here that don't make $400,000 a year. We don't really make $400,000 a year after we pay all our bullshit expenses. But $400,000 a year is not ultra wealthy.
No.
And everybody that is like gung-ho and like tax the rich and this and that, they're not thinking about the guy that lives down the street that makes $400,000 a year. They think they're attacking Warren Buffett and Donald Trump and millionaires.
Yeah.
But in reality, the guy that lives down the street that makes $400,000 a year and his wife stays home and he's got 2 or 3 kids, I'm not saying he's struggling to get by. He's doing well, but that's the 1%.
Inflation's hitting them too, you know? So like, and a lot of those people that are making 400, they're working for companies with a lot of people underneath them that are not making nearly that. And then if they take a hit, they're going to ask for more. The company needs them more than all the 100 people underneath them. And then it's the reverse of trickle down economics.
Yeah.
If you tax the ultra wealthy, then they're not going to stay the same, dude. They're not going to not.
Nobody's going to just take it on the chin. They're going to pass it off to the consumer, or they're going to lay off their employees.
Right.
You want to guess how many people made over 400,000 last year?
How many?
8%.
I just have a number. I don't know the percentage.
All right. Well, I've come up with a percentage. Go ahead.
The tax man on the book.
Around 3 million people.
So
3 million
10%.
10%.
Yeah. Fuck. I should have been an accountant.
Should have been, Joe.
So like, it's fucking, I don't know.
An income of 95,000 is in the 75th percentile of earnings.
So what's considered 1% in the U.S. to be in the 1%?
Gotta be Oprah rich, right? Oprah's in the 1%.
430,000.
430.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not. It's a very comfortable living. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. You know, for somebody that's listening that makes $50,000 a year and they're like, "Well, oh my God, that's so."
The president only makes 400,000.
Right.
Well, it's funny because like I've always been told like the further up the ladder you go, the more your ass hangs out. So all you got to do is go $30,000 more, and you go from being 10% to the 1%, and you're paying 50% of taxes.
The president,
not to mention
surgeons, some CEOs.
Not to mention, so like if you make $400,000 a year, you obviously live probably in a nicer house, so your property taxes are higher than most.
School taxes.
So you're contributing more to your school taxes. You probably drive a more expensive car, so you paid more in sales tax on the car.
You're buying more consumer goods, so you're paying more sales tax all around.
Right. And you're probably traveling more for work. And I mean, like everything.
Tax brackets higher.
Dude, like someone hit the Powerball for $200 million. That's a significant amount of money. But like we've talked about on here before, if somebody walked in here and said, dude, you want $1 million? Like I'm gonna be like pumped, yeah. But like after
I'm gonna go to work tomorrow.
Right after that initial shock wears off, you realize I still got to go to work. Like I'm flush. Like I'll be good. Like that would help. If anybody has $1 million, they want to give me, fuck it, I'll take it.
It might change the way I work because I have a cushion,
right?
And it might be, but it's not gonna like, oh, I can retire. You can't retire on $1 million right now.
Insane.
Not at 40 years old.
Dude, and you know, what do they say, 65, 70s at retirement age? So you can't retire at $1 million now. You're not going to be able to retire on 5 then. Like,
no, not in the way we're going.
But
we glanced over that, but we should probably talk about, so 25% tax on unrealized gains.
Yeah.
So that means if I buy a stock, so I bought, Apple stock when it was, whatever. What is it now? What's Apple? What did Apple close at?
200, I think.
Okay, so I bought Apple stock.
$8 a share.
Let's just say I paid $50 a share on it. It's worth $200 now. So I made $150 a share.
226. That was close, Joe.
Okay, so if I made $176 a share on that stock,
paying that tax now.
I'd be paying 25% tax. I didn't sell the stock yet. Yeah. I have no money.
Yeah.
And when it crashes.
I have a website that tells me I own something. I don't even have paper anymore.
Right.
I have nothing. But now they're going to take 25% of that. And I don't understand, how can you call that an income-based tax? It's not income. So is it an asset tax? Are you taxing my asset now? And then are you going to tax that same gain every year? Like if I don't sell it? There's so much question on how the hell that would even be feasible.
If I lose.
And it would create an administrative nightmare, because now what about these people that have money in these investment accounts? You know, an older person that socked their money away and they have an investment account, it's got a few $1,000,000 in it, and stocks are up and down and up and down. And then how are you going to track that for tax purposes? And then on top of that, what happens if, this year or last year, I made a killing, but I didn't sell anything. I still own everything. Now this year it's all in the shit. Well, I paid taxes on that shit last year. Now I have a loss. Do I get some of that money back?
You would want it all back, right?
I would want it all back.
Right. Not a percentage.
This article says for people over $10 million.
Oh, so that's how they're going to get it by, because anybody that's voting is going to be like, yeah, fuck them people.
Yeah, fuck them people. But those people are also people that manage money for other people.
They lose their job, and it's...
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know how logistically they could possibly do it. Money goes up and down, but I know why they're doing it. And the reason they're doing it is because of people like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is ultra wealthy, but it's all in stock.
Right. They want to get in his pocket.
They want to get in his pocket. So that's how he has all this money. He has all this worth, but he's paying less in taxes because he's not taking any of the money.
Right. And we saw there was a large energy company, Consol Energy, merged with Arch, and there's no money changing hands.
It's all stock.
It's $5 billion exchange.
And that's similar to like Twitter went down that way. He had to move all that stock.
Right.
When he bought Twitter. So I mean, that's how transactions are happening within the ultra wealthy and these big corporations, and the government wants a piece. And that's the problem.
And I'm not saying it should be the Wild Wild West with these people, but like these are people of industry that like set the tone for the world, that hire hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, maybe, well, I sound like Trump, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, well, not 800,000 people, but they hire these huge amounts of people that also pay into the system.
Huge.
Little hands. But they make the world go round. And sometimes when someone gets to the point of like an Elon Musk, I'm not saying just turn the blind eye on him, but like give him an attaboy, dude. Like you have created a net worth for yourself and also a net worth for so many people underneath you.
So many people.
You've created more jobs in the government that are good paying jobs that aren't relying on the tax paying dollars. Just calm the fuck down. And
he's changed the world.
Right. And if he decided tomorrow, like, fuck it, you want to go after this? You want to do this? This is how you're going to get me? I'm out. We'll make these cars in Italy.
Yeah.
What is that? You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. They could be imported.
But a lot of that stuff's never going to happen because of those lobbyists.
Right.
Because people are going to go down there and they're going to be fighting for this and fighting for that. There's so many times where the government, and we've talked about this before, where it's almost like they throw out an idea and then they're like,
wait for it. Like it's like
we changed our mind.
It's like a raw comment on someone's post. It's like when someone like
see how it goes.
Yeah. Like,
see what the reaction's like.
When you don't like someone, you're like, fuck you. You're like, delete. You're a dick bag. Delete. And then you're like, your kid's ugly. Leave it there for a minute just to see. It's just fucking bullshit. And like we are not a political talk show here, but like
we are in the middle of obviously there's a presidential campaign and that's a hot topic, but right now we're in a weird economic state.
All this shit fucks with our livelihood.
Very dependent on the results of the election and what's going on in DC when you've got politicians that are making 240% on their money, and you've got people in their 60s that are watching their retirement accounts dwindle down to 50% of what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and you have people that are trying to like squeeze. They're trying to squeeze two nickels together, and they're just trying to make it, and they're like, I can't spend that money, so that I'm not gonna come to you.
It's not even like what we're talking about is right or left. It's just right and wrong.
Yeah.
And there's so many people in power on both sides of the aisle that are complete shitbags, that are abusing the power that they're in. I mean, look at the amount of effort that both parties are consuming or putting out or using up, whatever. Where fuck that up. The amount of effort that they're putting forth to win an election, it's all power.
Not
man.
even effort. How about the money? How about the $500 fucking $million spent to get a job paying $400,000?
I saw a thing where they were interviewing somebody in the RFK campaign that there's a PAC that has spent millions of dollars to destroy him, to keep him out of the debates, to keep his ads off the TV, to keep him out of the public eye, because they don't want to go up against him. They want to eliminate him from the race. And why do that if we're all interested in a fair election?
Yeah, it's like collusion at its finest.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, why not let him talk? A third party candidate is probably not going to win, but they're afraid that it's going to pull votes from one side or the other. So there is this huge effort to just eliminate him.
And like what gets caught in the wash is small business owners. Like it's the grand illusion of like every business owner is a millionaire. Mm-hmm. So tax those motherfuckers. But like there's a month. If there's a month that goes by where I could put away 5, it's like seems like there's going to be some bullshit down the road that they're going to take 6. They have no interest in the American way anymore.
I'm just sick of the theatrics.
Yeah,
because they all, left and right, they all want to walk around and put up this persona that they're looking out for everybody, and it's really just a play for power and money.
Yeah, it's
all it is.
It's a sickness, and we fund it. We fuel the fire. It keeps going, and it's getting worse and worse.
Worse and worse and worse.
So in 4 years, what does an election look like? 8 years, what does an election look like? Because it is nasty. I mean, there's always been like political smear campaigns, but like this is getting way out of control now.
It is. It's. I don't know. I think about that sometimes too. I've been around. I was born in '84, right? So
I think so.
Yeah. You're right.
Right.
We fact checked it.
Yeah. So I've been old enough and paid attention enough to see the Clinton presidency, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Trump, Biden. I was alive obviously for George H.W. Bush, but I was too young to really be paying attention. So I wonder sometimes, like, as bad as things are right now, and all the hateful rhetoric and all the theatrics and bullshit and just nonsense, is it really worse now than it was then? Or is it just
we're in the know a little bit?
We're old enough to pay attention now, and we think this is the worst, but in reality, it was the same shit when Nixon was running, and the same shit when Reagan was running, and the same shit when, you know what I mean? Is it the same?
Because they talked about Reagan economics and jobs, and
yeah. He got shot.
Did he?
Yeah.
They're just making, so like everybody always talked about the American dream. They're making it so far out of reach for everybody to like, I feel bad for like someone that's 19, 20 years old coming up right now. Like the American dream might not be ascertainable for you. Like you might not be able to get there. Like,
yeah,
you can make $80,000 a year now, and it's like making 35 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember thinking, dude, all I gotta do is make $100,000 a year, and I'm gonna be set, dude. Camp, cars, everything you want in life. Dude, $100,000 does not go that far anymore.
Nope.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
This guy. This fucking guy.
What do you think I'm texting over here?
Dude, you texting, bro.
Look at that.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Your guy.
Look at him. Lemonade here.
Sloppy Joes.
How do you know I didn't want a fucking Waterloo? Profiling again.
I know you.
After the week I've had, and you're lucky this isn't fucking Crown Royal in a bottle just sitting here with an ice cube next to it. Yeah, it's I don't want to sound like I'm pessimistic because I'm not a pessimistic person, but like, dude, you can only get kicked as a dog so many times, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, like if I was 19 coming up, certainly wouldn't be going to college.
Right.
I'd probably be in a trade.
And that's like my biggest fear. Like everybody will tell you.
Because everyone wants to be an influencer, but they all need a plumber.
Dude, my wife dropped her AirPod in the sink. And like...
Just gave up and went and bought another.
No, but like we don't even think twice.
Yeah.
I just take the P-trap out, dig the hair out, and get it out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how many people in this circumstance that are our age are like...
What do I do?
Dude, I had to call a fucking plumber to come to the house. They charged me $175. I should have just bought a new fucking AirPod. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, and I mean, I guess, you know, I don't know our age realm that we have, like probably older people that listen to our show, like our age at least. But like for the younger people out there, I don't even know if they drop something down the drain that it won't go down the drain. Like there's a P-trap there. They think it's a fucking black hole where it's just gone.
Now. It's in the sewage plant.
Yeah, it's in the sewer. It's gone forever. It's like, no, chances are it's in the P-trap. And if it cleared that, it's going to be sitting in your house trap. Like, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work to get it, but you're going to get it.
Go on, get.
And, I mean, we're threading pipe at the place and we're doing things. And I'm like, this is a lost fucking art.
Yeah.
Like, and it's good to feel that it's good to be on that side of it because we talked earlier, like we always talk about pivoting. Like I'll never be without a job. Like I'll always have something to do.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many trades that are a lost art. I mean, I have a client that's a plaster guy, has a plaster company, and he's an artist.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. And now, like, everybody's just throwing drywall up, mudding the seams, and painting it.
Right. And the funny thing is like, it's not even that it's a lost art, it's a lost knowledge. People don't even know the difference between drywall and plaster. Like, well, fuck, I got plaster in my house. It's like, no, dude, you don't.
Right.
Like, you don't. Punch a drywall wall, punch a plaster wall.
See which one
sends you to urgent care first.
When I bought my house, I had a couple rooms replastered. And I was talking to a guy, he's like, you mean you just put drywall up? I'm like, no. Like, we put drywall up. And then I had a client come and hard coat it and texture it, and it's plaster.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
It's like an art form.
It is. And if you ever watch one of those guys do it?
It's fucking slick.
It's amazing. Like, he's just like, pass, and it's just smooth, and the next thing you know, it's textured. You're like,
what you can actually, like, they'll go around, like, ceiling fans, like, fixtures, and, like,
pattern.
You can buy a PVC ring and glue it on. It looks just like it, but, like, to watch someone do that, or when they swirl it from the center of the room out, like, it's fucking sweet.
It's amazing.
Cement finishers are the same way. Like,
now everybody's stamping it, or they're, I mean, it's just those industries have changed so much, and it's cheap. It's cheaper. It's easier.
And that's the problem too that I see in the future is like, if you go to like our kids when they buy their first home and they're like, well, we want to take this wall down and we want to move it. And they're like, all right, well, drywall it $1,000. Plaster $7,000. They're gonna be like, fuck it, drywall it.
Yeah.
Like it's become expensive to live, so everybody's cheapening. Like, and I'm guilty of it too. You hire somebody to do something and you're like, what the fuck, dude, I could do that.
Yeah. But
you're paying for their knowledge and their time, and
but it's not the same.
Tools.
The end product's not the same.
Definitely not. Like, I cheaped out on my drywall guys, and it took me forever to paint because like it's not a 90. They have like a 45-90 ratio between 16 feet. That's like, I gotta like fake the line.
Yeah.
But it's
drawing it with a marker.
It's chalked the line, painted it. It's all good. And that's the other thing. It's like I'm old enough to know like what it's supposed to be like. Someone younger would have just walked in and be like, how the fuck they do this? This is fucking incredible.
But now you see those guys, they're mainly working in major money houses because that's the only builders that are still putting plaster on the walls. They're all just
they're like on staff somewhere.
Tape, seam, move on.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, you have fucking nail pops coming out of the drywall because they half-assed it. I mean, it happens all the time.
Now you know you're showing your age because nobody's nailing fucking drywall anymore. My guy nailed it. I was like, he was like, man, he's like, this is how I do it. Like nails, bang, 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 bang. I'm like, wow. Fucking, they make screws, right? So I don't know. We say it a lot on here. I don't know if it's our age, if we've hit the point where we're just old and we're like, we know too much.
Right.
Or if
I
it's...
think you get old and you get into politics. I don't know.
Yeah, you just fucking get off. Yeah, get off my lawn.
Take a pay cut.
I don't want to deal with fucking people, man. I just feel bad for politicians because they have lost.
I don't feel. Let's
just put it this way.
Let's retract that statement.
I haven't had this happen to me in a long time, but at a younger age, you get around the wrong people and you just want to do the cool thing to fucking fit in, and you lose your identity. And it happens to people. We've all been in friend groups we probably shouldn't been in, around people we shouldn't. Maybe you get. Even at an older age, you get around some people that are wealthy, you start spending some extra money that you maybe shouldn't. But these politicians all went to D.C. trying to change the fucking world. And then they get caught up and they're in the wash and they're dealing with lobbyists that are fucking in their pocket and in their head. And they're once they find the right person, that's who runs for president.
And it's not even, I think that there's actually an argument to say that they have to adapt and lose that identity, or else they're gone.
They're a secretary of the desk somewhere.
Yep. They'll lose.
And it doesn't have to happen in DC. It happens here locally with our local politicians. It happens statewide. It is
our towns.
Hey, you've said it here before. Boards. I can't run for politics because I have a history. They care about these things that you do when you made trouble in the world. They don't care about the jobs that you've provided, the people that the days you forget to take a paycheck because you got to pay your employees. The real sacrifices that it takes to be a business owner are the people that should be running this country. The problem is these people are like you saying, fuck it. I don't want anything to do with that because they're smart enough to stay the fuck away from the fire.
That's why the last several presidents that we've had run have all been
career politicians
or family of politicians. Right. I mean,
there's not a state representative under the age of 30 right fucking now that doesn't have an ambition of being the president. It's just like a guy at a driving range thinking he can try out for the PGA Tour. They think that if they play their cards right and they paint a fucking pretty picture for the world to see at a young age, they can just climb that fucking ladder, dude. It's crazy.
But it's like this elite group. And honestly, Obama was the first one that wasn't part of the elite group when he ran. Now he's become the elite group where now they're talking about running Michelle Obama, which
what in the fuck?
What
I felt the same way
does she have?
I felt the same way about Hillary Clinton. Like, kudos to her for throwing herself into the fucking mix. But at least
Hillary spent time in public service.
Right. And you were recycling a name.
Yeah.
That they had a system in place. They thought they could just run the name and it would win. And
there's so much nepotism in DC.
Have you ever seen Cheney? The movie Cheney?
No.
Where they're like talking about, was it 9/11?
Yeah.
Yeah, the reaction to 9/11, they actually brought people in, like a panel of people, and they ran names past them to see what they should call the reaction, and what stuck was the war on terrorism. But they ran like Fighting Liberty, like all these other, and like these people were just average Joes in a room like, what should we name the fucking beer this week? And I'm like, that happened.
They do that with fucking
everything.
The bills that they're putting up in front of Congress. I mean,
I'm just a bill.
They have to come up with a clever name and clever acronym to make it. Meanwhile, they're talking about it being like, well, this is going to do this great thing, and but don't pay attention to any of this bullshit we stuck in this bill because we're trying to like make people happy back in our and it's all nonsense. And
think about how much that meeting costs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we've become an anti-government podcast. Yeah. we tried the right, we tried the left, we finished right in the middle. Fuck them all.
So we're a libertarian podcast now.
Yeah. But you see it though, like when you start trying to make moves in your personal life or in your business, you are held up.
Yeah. You've been in 5 months of red tape.
Yeah.
And all you want to do is start.
Yeah, and not to mention, one of the things that in all the paperwork on the sides is like, you need to be a qualified contractor. You need to know the field. You need to know. It's like, I know the field. I've been in the field for fucking 20 years. Yeah. My stepdad's helping me. He's installed hundreds of dry cleaning plants. There's not a phone number I can call right now that I can get more knowledge in my building to install my dry cleaning plant than my stepdad.
Yeah. You can be a licensed contractor tomorrow.
$50.
$50 and a year's worth of liability insurance.
Mm-hmm.
For less than $1,500, you can be a licensed contractor in the state of Pennsylvania.
And you just need a T-shirt and it says licensed and insured.
Yeah. We build decks. We screw them right in the header plate.
Yeah. Licensed and insured.
And how many times have you walked out onto a deck in somebody's house and you're like, well, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I built my deck. It's like overkill. And you know why I did it? It was because I was like, the only way that refrigerator is coming through this door. And if I put that fridge on this fucking deck, it's got to hold it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing that is shocking to me is as the business owner, they handcuff you to not be able to do the work on some stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, you got to go to night college to learn how to fucking glue two pieces of pipe together.
Mm.
And it's like, I get that there's a rule in place for master plumbers. And it's probably like commercial high-rise buildings should be handled like that. But like if you're like turning a 90 elbow on its side and just want to like hook a sink up over here, carte blanche, dude. Fucking go for it. If it leaks, you're ruining your own fucking building.
Right.
If it doesn't leak, it's a win. So I don't know. We're probably going to have fucking 9,000 inspectors in my building tomorrow.
Yeah. I haven't said the address of my office yet, have I?
I don't think they have the address of my shit yet.
We're in Philadelphia.
I'm moving to Munhall.
Yeah. No, it's actually in somewhere in Greene County.
The kick
Let's go with that.
That's the kick in the
dick.
dick.
Give a shit.
Dude, we could probably hit driver 7-iron to Westmoreland County where I'm from, like where my building's at, and like they're like, welcome to the neighborhood, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's fucking nuts. This is also nuts. I can see all my spikes.
Yeah.
My aggressive.
Talk really loud.
Joe talks.
I'm aggressive.
Yeah, wait, for anybody that's watching and doesn't know how we're talking about or listening and doesn't know how we're talking about, Nate has our audio feed on a screen so we can see when we talk the spikes and Joe's are consistently higher.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off.
So anybody that is listening with an AirPod and blew out their fucking eardrums. Sorry, guys.
It's that aggravated talk, you know. It feels
you're
good.
Wound up today.
Yeah, I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's multiple things.
Yeah.
A lot of head scratching going on.
But we'll get through it.
You know, we say about our wives always being involved in these things and like being our better half. Dude, the last couple of weeks, like we'll have conversations and then I got to make sure to be like, but we'll be okay. Like it's going to be okay. Cause like you want to confide in them, but like you catch yourself. You're like, maybe they don't need to know this shit. Like,
so I've gone through that and I agree with you. Like, there's been a lot of days over the last couple months that I've gone home and been like, this was rough. And the next few months are going to be tight. Like we're going to tighten the belt and there's great things on the horizon, but we got to get there. And that means that like, we got to just kind of chill the next couple months. Right. And, going through those few months, it's been trying. But I've been in a position much, much worse. Like this isn't that bad. This is just like playing chess, right? But I've been in that position where I'm like, I don't want to bring that home. I don't want to worry her. I don't want to stress her out. And then things got like pretty bad. And
maybe I should alert her at least.
And then, it got to the point where I'm like, listen, we need to talk.
Yeah, quit spending fucking money. We ain't got money.
This was years ago. And I laid it out like, hey, listen, this is where we're at. It's that bad. We have to figure shit out here. And bringing my wife into that and having an open conversation with like, and then having her support being like, hey, we're going to get through this. It's all good. Like whatever we need to do, we'll do it. It's like a huge relief.
Yeah.
And it's something that I learned through doing it that like, you got to just share it.
Yeah.
You're a team And I know that like we're in similar situations where she's home taking care of the kids and the home and all that stuff. And we're out there grinding and trying to, take it over, take over the world. But when things get tough, you got to share it.
Yeah, I guess because when they get tough and you feel like you need to share it, what you're trying to avert is a blind side. Because you know that it'll be okay. But like if you got blindsided, like if I just call her up one day and be like, yeah, I sold your car. Like,
it's that bad. Where's my car?
Funny story.
But no, like, if she's not aware and she's going through with like your regular everyday life and she's like, hey, I just booked airfare. We're going to go here. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And it's like,
well, that's the shit that'll drive me nuts.
Stop.
Because then you get mad. Now you're angry. You're like, I'm fucking killing myself.
Yeah.
So if you don't let them know, like they don't know.
They don't know. And that's the conversation that ends up having to happen. We're like, hey, you got to stop because I'm trying to like stop the bleeding and you're just slicing it open again. Like you got to stop.
Yeah. You keep that. That was like kind of where we were. It was a good conversation. But like at the end of the conversation, you also got to be like, look, you know who you're with. Like I'm a real motherfucker here. Like
I'm going to keep going.
It'll be all right. Yeah. Like, but then you just always make sure you have this conversation when the kids are in bed. The kids don't need to know. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, they're not out there spending money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although they are. I got a freaking email yesterday. Oh, thanks for your purchase for fucking V-Bucks or whatever on goddamn Fortnite. I'm like, God damn it, Vinny.
He's got you hacked.
He's got my fucking
You're calling PNC, you're like, I got hacked.
My
10-year-old's got my password.
Fraud.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
my password.
I think that in my current situation, I've been like riding the wave and it's been good. But everything I've done hasn't been like irrational, I haven't like went out and did anything crazy to like celebrate my success because I always knew that there was something in the background. So like now it's just like it is perfect timing for me to like kind of slow down a little bit because revenue doesn't always equal success, right?
Nope.
So revenue is like, and that's the thing is like you just start dumping all your profits back into your business and you're like, I should be making more. And now I'm at a point where it's like, dude, this is like perfect for me because I need everything to slow down. All the crazy around me, it's been going on for 2 years. I kind of need it to shrink because I want to build systems and get away from the everyday. And when you're just putting out fires all day, how do you bring someone in to train them to do what you do? Because all you're doing is walking around with a fire extinguisher, figuring it out. And you can't train that.
Right.
Like, because no one's going to treat your business like your own.
Right.
So now, like, we can tear it down to like a minimal point. We can organize it and we can then scale with being 40 and knowing what I know now. I can scale it the right way with the right people and keep people in the loop the whole way around. So when we get back up, because it's ups and downs. So when we get back up, I don't have to kill myself again. Because now, like the last time we were up, I fucking working 80 hours a week, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to figure it all out.
Yep.
So it's the ebbs and flows. But my biggest problem now is I have politicians telling me, fuck, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
After 20 years.
Yeah. 20 years of surviving. And I feel bad for like people in the industry too. Like you have guys that are electricians that know the shit, but they're not allowed to run the shit until an engineer tells them to run the shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, I can put a meter on any piece of equipment you have. I can tell you the amperage it's drawing, how far we're going. They know load, fall, and length, Like these guys have been doing it 40 years. But until someone signs off it with a pen, like they're not allowed to do their job.
Yeah.
Then you have guys waiting in the wing. They're like, I want to do this work. When can I get on the schedule? I'm like, when I get the drawing, and that's a shame. Like the whole way around, like you just take the expertise out of it.
Yep.
So we're fucking moving forward. Fuck it, And that's what part of this whole thing is like. I knew coming in tonight that I was going to be like either drink 30 beers and be sleeping on this fucker by the end of it, or we were going to talk through it, and that's what we do it for. I mean, We've had guests on here tell their story. I'm trying to keep going with my story. I just hope we can have a grand opening soon.
I can't wait.
Well, I'll be open before the grand opening. We're going to have a soft opening with everything fucking running. And when that guy shows up, I'm going to be like, shh, quiet. He's going to be like, dude, it's 68 degrees outside. Why the fuck is it so hot in here? I'm like, I don't know.
We're testing it out.
Don't touch the boiler. It's fucking hot. So, yeah, they don't watch this. Those people are on our demographic.
No.
Inspectors. Fuck them. All right, so what do we got? Kids are back to school.
Yeah.
Election sucks. Jobs are way, way, way down. And we got shit to do. So we're going to leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that. We got work to do.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Like and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review. You can join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Yes, we still call it Twitter. You can email the show at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Until next time, make it till you rake it.